Hey, GBP roast, GBP roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP roast, GBP roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO. JP, Lambo, and Dre, bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.
I'm out of gas. Oh, there we go.
I keep forgetting my torch.
I got propane still. Got some propane.
I swear you're gonna burn something one of these days. You're gonna burn. That's so dangerous, man. All right.
The fire alarm has not gotten off yet, so we're good.
Not yet.
Not yet. Someone got a new haircut, but it's not showing off today.
I'm not.
Oh, I gotta style mine in
I always wear the black hat.
The Dre fashion.
Oh man, JP the Black Hat. All right. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the GBP Roast Show. Today we have JP back. He cut his beard a bit, so we are ready to get things going. All right. So today we will be actually talking about a couple things. We will be talking about from optimization to SERPs, maps to AI, and increasing conversions with color. All right,
yeah.
Before we get started, let's go into reaction number 1.
So the reason why we're spending time focusing on video optimizing for SEO is because videos are a very high authority builder for businesses on Google. So if you want to rank higher and get more customers and Google respect you, which you need to do to rank higher, then you need to start putting out videos. And one of the reasons why it's so important is because it's difficult. So your competitors are probably not doing it, which means that if you simply do it, you're going to get that leg up over your competitors.
Short video is hot right now. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty accurate, especially since especially shorts. So shorts is definitely big. So just recording a quick 30 to 50-second video, those shorts are showing up on search, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Definitely would help because just especially for local queries. I see video being a very prominent thing moving forward, so definitely a good idea.
In the local market, Google is already putting an identifying. If you're a local business and they found you, either your TikTok channel or your Instagram channel, those videos are showing up, so do not overlook it. And this is the great thing. There's some easy, simple ways to make 30-second ads like that. Or I'm not saying not ads, but 30-second videos just to get your branding out there. It is going to be important.
So, I mean, what kind of content are you seeing then? I mean, instead of like not necessarily ads, but what kind of like content are you possibly seeing more often?
I think that you could do something like behind the scenes stuff, a day in the life, of a pest guy out on the lot, having fun with customers. You don't want to try too hard. But this is the reality. The more reality type television it is, the better you're going to do. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to spend lavish time or money. Just like, hey, I'm Keith and we're hanging out at the SEO video show, right? With Dre. I mean, it's as simple as that, where you're connecting with your customers as a human, right? Use the emotions.
Yeah, another thing too, I think it's really good for home services to also, kind of like build a portfolio of recording you're doing your work too. Especially when I owned a locksmith company for a long time, we would do photos, videos pretty frequently. I actually have a friend who wears a GoPro out in the field, and every time he goes out there, just recording his work. So I think it's a good idea just to bring, I mean, your cell phone's going to have video too, but if you have even that little video that you have, Dre, that you bring with you all the time, that's a cool little device too. So there's definitely great options out there. I always recommend, have real work. Don't get like stock photo or stock video. So it's always a good thing.
Yeah, the camera that he's referring to is a Pocket 3, a great camera. Nice. It's literally a pocket camera. Just put it in your pocket and bring it anywhere, and you can get some really high quality videos for anything, events, and like you mentioned, like anything on the job sites. Good stuff there. All right, so let's go into reaction number 2.
Oh, I can't just write semantic bullshit. I got to write something that has opinions, which is back to the interviewing. It's your job as a marketer to talk to the humans and or track them and figure out what's growing. If you're like, well, I haven't really created a presence on social for my business. I just relied on my Google search. Well, you're starting from zero. Oh, I've mostly written semantically relevant content, but then I didn't go and speak at the conferences. I didn't go do the other things to send those signals. Well, you're starting from zero. Don't get Banana Republic'd, where you haven't invested in the things that show that you're really about the keywords you rank for. So as we start to have to validate that, you have no corroborating evidence that that's who you are.
There you go. Kind of relates to what we were talking about video, right? Video.
Well,
kind of
yeah, and actually it's even being tied into that we're seeing the AI overviews because Google is looking for more third party, basically those recommendations, those referrals that if you did nothing but focus on reviews and you didn't really look at your LinkedIn, you didn't really look at Facebook reviews, or you didn't really do anything on the social, it could come back and haunt you. You have to have a little bit more of a diversification of your branding and your reputation.
Yeah, we'll be going over a little bit of that today during TED Talk. I have some stuff to show.
Nice.
And this is the cool thing too. It's actually going to be prominent and it's going to come to light in the roast later today. So that's perfect timing on that surprise video.
And when it comes to your clients that you work with and stuff like that, how are you telling them to post content? Are you just saying, hey, just use the same content, post it here? Or what's kind of strategies you tell them to go, let's say, on other networks like a LinkedIn?
You really have to think about who is the audience behind on that channel, right? So if you're doing on TikTok, yeah, you might be a little bit goofy and do a dance and it's more entertaining, right? And trendy for the young millennials and the 20-somethings. So that's the key thing, is just to say, all right, I'm going to do an in-depth blog, but maybe I'll pull the one important thing or a fact. I could do a short video with it. I'll just, roll some photos. So it's really just taking that one item and regenerating and respitting out. And again, that's where AI just loves to take your one big piece and to cut it up into other items.
Yeah, that's super important too, like you said, because your audience on LinkedIn is going to be very different than TikTok. So you're not going to be posting you dancing on your LinkedIn profile when everyone's wearing a suit and tie, right? So, but I prefer posting individually on platforms. I don't use like a third party to post on everywhere. I prefer having it more geared towards, your audience and what you're shooting for.
Love it. All right, our last video to react to. Here we go.
Exact match domains still work. Look at this example of VancouverSEO.net outranking their competitors. Google has no way of knowing if you asked all your friends to leave reviews on your business. 3. CTR manipulation works stupid well. Ask friends or family to toggle airplane mode and then click directions.
All right, exactly. Match domains.
So for the people playing at home, okay, I think Jordan knows this. Maybe Dre doesn't. How old is that Vancouver SEO website?
Oh, I don't know.
It's pretty old.
Yeah, it's been around. It's actually has been out there and made fun of. And there's, lots of SEOs have looked at it and analyzed it. So
I haven't looked at it in a while, but I think at one time they were doing massive keyword stuff, and they would literally list probably like 100 different keywords at the bottom of the content, and it was like just shoot. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that still works. I would recommend, building a good, brand. Think about building a brand that's unique. If you don't want to be called Starbucks, something, be a little bit more unique. On the roast today, we're going to be going over kind of showing exactly how you should be showing up as someone types in your brand. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to exact match domains, I see it working even with not .coms as well. Like I use .tech and I'm seeing it like working well.
Yeah.
So, I feel like, and is that considered black hat? It's not considered black hat, right? If you just have an exact match domain, it's not.
No, I mean, you're basically, if you come into it thinking of it as a brand, then no. I mean, there's a company, there's a locksmith company in Utah called Orem Locksmith, and Orem's the name of the city. They've been around for 30 years. So, I mean, technically that would be considered an exact match. So, again, you're probably not going to want to do it in today because you're going to be restricting yourself from being more found, because you're probably not going to be found in in Alameda if your name is Oakland Plumbing. you know, so it's gonna make a big difference.
Well, I always tell people you need to really have that the what, right? And that typically is, I'm a mover, I'm a plumber, I do pest control. Okay, now you need to, if that's the prime thing you do, right, that broad category, try to put it into your domain. The next thing is that slight uniqueness, right? Are you Jack? Are you the, DOT? Are you just the uniqueness of who you are? So then people won't necessarily confuse you with someone else. Because the challenge is if you do something like city-based, then yes, that's the old classic way of, I live in this town, I'm going to market myself at this town, but then it's hard for you to break out of and move to other cities and states as your brand grows. So I always, and to sell it as well, right? Slightly more unique is going to be better for you as long as you have your prime keyword in your domain.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to our next section of the show.
Yeah, we're going to verify some GMBs right now.
Let's do it.
How we do it?
All right, so today we're going to be going over something that I had discovered last week when I was just happened to do a search. Let me go ahead and see if this will play. You guys all see this?
Yeah, you got your little video on mobile view.
Yep. So this was something I was just happened to do a search for a couple clients while I was out of town, and just to kind of see where they were at. And this is what I saw. It was really interesting. So I'll kind of slow it down a little bit and pause. So this is going to be your main local pack here. You'll see things kind of interesting here coming up here. Then it actually created another map pack. So another search results for emergency plumbing services. Then it did it for residential plumbing. Then it did it for commercial plumbing.
Oh, sons of bitches.
Then it did it for drain cleaning services. Now, if you kind of go back a little bit, there are a couple of businesses that ended up showing multiple times. Not all of them, but quite a few of them. I'm not sure this is something that they're maybe testing, if they're going to be implementing this. I don't know, but within like the next morning, it went away.
Jordan crazy, like, hey, let's keep them on their toes. We need more content for these guys to talk about.
Yeah.
But then those would be actually great entities to go after as well then, right? Like, if
so that's kind of leading into the segue of how we, a lot of the websites that we're building, it's really important that now you're really encompassing really everything that you offer directly in your sites. That's and I like to attach this directly to our map listings. So this would be just a simple locksmith page. We have, I broke it up into different tabs. I have residential locksmith services, and then all the services within residential, commercial, automotive. It's also important too, because of AI and some of the content that they're pulling into their AI systems, like Google AI Overview, which I'll show here in just a minute. It's really important that you talk about your brand, talk about, maybe your licensing, you've been around for 15 years, credentials, if you're certified, your license, BBB accredited, things like that. These are things that are pulling into AI. Also, having reputation management, you want to definitely make sure that you're getting consistent reviews and that you have a high rating. Also, to that, make sure that you are responding to reviews as well. Additional services, just if there is anything additional that you offer, and then we have some content, and then the service area. The reason why I'm showing you this is because what Google is happening with their AI overview is they're pulling a lot of the information from what's coming from your website and how they're learned about you, and also from major top directories. So before, citations weren't necessarily a huge thing. They weren't really a major ranking factor. for ranking on Google Maps. But now, because of AI, now it's almost like things have kind of gone in reverse, and Google's really pulling a lot of that third-party data into their AI overview. So this was just a search. I don't know if a lot of you have access to this yet, but it's something called AI mode. So you'll see there's a little tab here. I just did a simple search for plumber Walnut Creek, and it gave me some different search results. A lot of these too, it's also giving me for some different places where they would find reputable companies. The top main directories that Google looks at, things like Yelp, Better Business Bureau. This Diamond Certified is only here in the Bay Area, but basically they're kind of a third party, like it's mainly for home services and contractors. But this was a big directory that is reputable that is used for local businesses here. And then giving you some tips of how to find a plumber. So these types of things in here, these should be in the content of your page. And Keith goes over this a lot, you know, the messaging that's behind your website, you know, who you are, you know, what you do, and then just something that's very unique. I'm a big, very component. They actually have, I'll have to pull it up here. I don't have it pulled up here right now, but Google is really looking at a unique brand, something that really stands out from the crowd. And then I asked AI, you know, how did you get these business results? And so it actually told me, hey, you know, we're getting this from different review platforms. You know, Angie's List is a big one, Yelp, different business directories, Better Business Bureau, and then from different websites that are there. So again, it's super important that now branding is even more important. Not only are you unique, you have a good reputation, and maybe something that's unique about your company. Maybe you're, you know, third generation plumbing company, family owned. Maybe if there's, you know, some big jobs that you've done. So something that really helps you stand out from that crowd. This is what's going to help you get into AI overview, into different AI models. There's big AI models like Perplexity, ChatGPT, Gemini, which is owned by Google. So again, it's going to be really important that moving forward that you really focus on your brand being unique and having that messaging on your website as well. So, and that's what I have for today.
Yeah. Lovely. So when it comes to like this AI mode, did you suggest like people start kind of doing some research there to see kind of pulling some ideas of what?
Yeah, it's really easy. So yeah, so in everyone should have an invite. If you're logged into your Gmail account, you'll see there's a little like vial. It'll say Search Labs in the upper right hand corner by your profile picture, and you can actually be implemented into the program. Eventually, they're going to start rolling this out for all Gmail users. But it's a good idea to do some searches in there for maybe some different keywords and see what types of information Google's pulling from. And also too, having that messaging, you know, if you're a plumber, you know, if you do, you know, residential, commercial, if you're a locksmith, you do automotive, you know, making sure you have that messaging on your website, because who knows if that map pack result is actually going to be being permanent in the future. Where, you know, they may start showing some different results based on types of services that people need.
Nice.
Yeah.
Again, can you repeat where did you go to see that AI mode? You went to the
Yeah, let me
you know?
yeah, let me,
Just so because I'm actually trying to look it up for myself. I can't find it.
yeah, let me pull it up here 1 second. So we can do plumber, Walnut Creek, and it'll say AI mode right here.
Oh.
All you gotta do is click on it.
Here's the summary. High rated.
So this one showed a little bit different, where before it just showed a list with like a couple sentence items. This showed a little bit differently. It actually gave me the hours, the phone number, the ratings this time. So again, you'll want to search a couple different times in this particular example. It still gave me tips here. So if you see things like this in here, you want to have this messaging on your website.
Right.
Yep. That came up. I mean, that was in your previous.
Yeah.
Right. So.
But this wasn't in the previous one. So this one showed,
yeah,
you know,
part, yeah.
hours of operation, phone number, you know, rating. And if you click on this little search labs here.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
And then you'll want to AI mode. You can try AI mode. It pulls up here.
Oh, there you go. Try it. All right. That's what I was actually looking for. So you just put a little chemistry.
Jordan, on that, do you think it's more about the GBP or something else?
It's both, because in the resources, it'll show, if you click on, there's a little like chain link, if you click on the business name, and it'll show the like a little box that shows a link that goes to the website and also goes to your maps listing. So you'll want to focus on both. So the messaging should have everything we show, on the shows. It's everything. The messaging is on the website. It matches what's on the business profile on your maps. So everything kind of talks to these AIs.
And you're limited to what you can actually like hack or modify, optimize on the GBP.
Yeah.
Because
now
you have a 3.9 rating. You have a 3.9 rating. Like you need 100 reviews at 5 stars to bring it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and that goes to show is business owners, you have to really focus on providing a good service and making sure that you are asking for reviews if you're out in the field. However, you need to do that with your technicians, your staff. You need to make sure that you have a good reputation, because Google, I'm looking at most of the results, they're not recommending anyone that's under like 4 stars. So you really need to focus on building your reputation, again, having that unique messaging, you are licensed and things like that.
You know what happens to those that just don't have that many good reviews? I mean, they just SOL.
I mean, if you have serviced 100 customers in the past and you only have 5 reviews, you can do a pretty simple campaign with that customer list and say, hey, you did business with us in the past, can you please give us some feedback.
Sounds
really
like
simple.
It's an opportunity for someone to take your market, because if you're doing a poor job at it, someone else is going to do a better job at it.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff there. Let's get on to our next segment of the show.
La 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 Lambo's World. La 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 Lambo's World. Lambo likes conversions and SEO too. That's Lambo's World. I think I love the singing the most. That's one of my favorite parts, was the singing portion, right? Today, kids, we are going to talk about colors, conversions. It seems pretty basic, but it's actually something that we should pay a little bit more attention to. Let me bring up here actually my site, and we know that color, it's powerful, right? It adds interest. It can, it definitely attract attention, highlight the important information on your site. You want to certainly tie it in with how you want people to feel, right, on the emotional side, and then any of your brand identity. So even here, I have my Up Hero logo. It's blue, purple, and then I just tie in that the only other color here is the main button, right, with the headline of the call to action, and then color with the graphic on the female to play the video. The human is definitely going to look at the picture, but from a color point of view, I'm really trying to focus to make it simple and clean and just say, hey, let's see what's wrong with your website, press a button, and you go. High contrast too ties in a lot with your bold offer, and just certainly being careful of a nice balance with your colors, right? I'll show you some crazy colors ahead. Maybe a guy who's been selling cars forever. The reality is, when we look at the color wheel, a great classic color combinations can be really tied into like your favorite sports teams. And warm colors like red, orange, yellow, they're usually connected to excitement and energy, passion. Also think about the culture though, right? Because many Asian cultures use red for luck, while looking at more of the cool colors, which you can never go wrong with shades of blue, green, purple. they tend to evoke those feelings of being calm, tranquil, that a little bit more, especially purple can have that luxury royal feel. Can even connect well with females. And that's another thing too. Blue is very universally accepted to a lot of people. We have blue sky, we have the blue ocean, water's blue, a lot of tech, a lot of trust. You can never really go wrong with the color blue. Now you look at this and you're like, oh my gosh, these are just gorgeous websites. I love it. But you got to be so careful. Beautiful does not pay the bills. You have to look at the conversions. Oh, Ling's Cars. It's a classic. Oh, but guess what? That SOB, he changed his site. So one of the is people have claimed the worst website with graphics and colors and rainbows, but I think he got tons of attention. His messaging is on par, but oh my gosh, the colors are over the freaking top. And so now we have kind of a color palette going on here, but maybe not really, right? There's a lot going on for sure. If we went and looked at, here's a site, they do junk removal. You know, it's sort of that classic template. Oh, you do hauling, you're in construction, so we're just going to do the classic black and yellow. And you're like, gag me with a spoon. This color isn't working quite as well. Yes, they do have color on the call to action, but is this necessary to have all this bright orangish yellow up in the navigation? You know, there's certainly some drawbacks to the overall design here. Here is a junk site. They also use orange, but notice how we have some earth tones. The colors are in the images where the orange, oh, if I move my mouse over it, it draws attention. Do I need appliance disposal? Yes, I can click right on that. We have the phone number in orange, the estimate in orange, really, again, drawing on the what can I do on this website? I can get a free estimate. They do local junk pickup. That's what I want to accomplish. Even you can take it a step further, very same theme, same template. This particular customer also uses orange, but they have green in their branding. So orange and green, you know, if you're a 7-year-old boy and you love Nickelodeon, like that is your color, right? It is in your face. But it's also can be tied into copying your competitor, and it can have, you know, that green, soothing, you know, that eco-friendly feel. But look, we've got green headlines, but here the orange again is focused on the passion, the place to take action, and that's where that focus is. So just be careful, boys and girls, with your colors. You don't want to end up too crazy like with Ling's. Just the words are certainly going to be way more important than anything else out there. That's it for Lambo's World today. It's about colors. Yeah.
I missed that old site.
That site actually looks pretty cool. I don't know. I was like, hey, that looks like a pretty cool site.
The old GeoCities style.
Yeah, when you had
oh my gosh,
different graphics. All right, let's see here. You stop sharing, Keith, so we can.
Or do you want? Sure.
I'll stop sharing so we can make sure we get our.
Whoa!
All right, here.
Roasty!
All right,
roasting time.
We got a moving company, right? Moving company.
Yep.
Movie industry.
Can we pull it up?
I can maybe click the right button. 208 moving. We are the best movers in Idaho. This is a very interesting situation because if you really step back and you look at a lot of the moving companies that are out there, you have to think about what's that competitive advantage, right? That's what Lambo always screams at you kids. Just because you say you're the best, and yeah, you might be vet owned and you maybe do offer discounts, you have to have a strong, compelling message. And I don't care that it's not about you, the company, it's about me and the challenges. There's a lot of good things going on here with the site and some of their messaging, but from an SEO point of view, like this is the one thing you would want to see, which would be these items, your actual services, you've got to move them much higher up. And they're not using a geo hub. They're not heavily stressing, the cities and locations. I think they have this, the areas that we service. Let me see if I can get over there. I don't know why that's not.
It doesn't click.
Moving. Is it dead or is that me?
Yeah.
It might be me. Yeah, it was me. Damn, Keithy. But they're not doing as well with, hey, we're a mover. This is why we're the best, what really separates us, and how to connect that into the Boise market. If we take a look at even on the GMB side, you're like, well, holy shit, 800 reviews and a 4.9. Yeah, and if we looked at competitors in that market, they are doing a lot of things right in that regard. So you sit back and you say, okay, well, why could they not be ranking? What could be holding them back? Jordan, did you have any particular insights? There's some things
so
I
the biggest thing, I mean, they are this is a problem with a lot of businesses. We always want to rank in major cities too. Now they are ranking in Garden City. They're not going to rank in any other cities. So at that point, what do, right? Do we want to get another location, Boise? Do we want to get other locations in other cities? Their branding is good. If we type in 208 moving, it shows how it should show, where it shows their knowledge pan on the right hand side, their website's on the top, it's got some of their branding towards the bottom and things like that. But as far as a lot of the content, so your Google Business is always going to pull a lot of the kind of supporting content directly from your website, and they're using their homepage. Yeah, they do list some of those commercial and residential moving and things like that, apartment moving, but there is no service area. All they do is they list, they have a separate page that lists, hey, we do state, moving, we do local moving, we do nationwide moving, but it doesn't tell me anything locally. Most moves in this particular market are going to be usually local, especially within the Boise area. It doesn't even mention anything in regards to that. So you always have to think about your website as what supports your GMB. So that's the most important thing.
And that is extremely important. Say that again for all of our lovely listeners.
So your website supports your Google business profile. So the content that is on there is what supports your business profile. So you need to make sure that if you do offer local moving, that you need to also list the services. Like if you saw on that locksmith demo site that I showed all the services that we offer in all the cities that we service. So it does not do that on this page.
Something interesting.
You mean on the page that they link out to?
Yeah, on the link. That's so when I say the web page, I'm talking about the actual page that your Google business profile is using on its listing. So in this particular case, it's using the homepage.
We Jordan and I and most SEO professionals, this right here you can modify. We refer to this as the GMB URL. That way there it's like helps designate what this means. And you can modify that. And the typical thing we tell folks is you should have that dedicated city page, right? And they don't. They don't have that dedicated page for that market.
GeoHub, right? GeoHub.
Right. Yeah. So now you can focus that off of the home, but I will tell you, and it just happened in the past week in the SEO Signals Lab, someone says, should I add city to the homepage? And I always say, yes, absolutely, positively, at least in the title, the H1 and the H2, if you don't have that inner page. And this is a perfect example where having the inner page and really pumping that connection so that you can try to drive these rankings and move these stars up. I know personally, like Crosstown Movers, they will always, these are true locally owned, run by a couple good friends, and they actually have people come to their store because they also sell packing materials. Well, that's very rare in the moving market. So it's very difficult to try to compete, in some of these others. This one is really interesting, the delicate touch moving. And if we look at the penetration of this particular site, you're like, holy crap, they only have 214 reviews. What is going on here? Well, let's go take a look. I'll show you where they have a basic 5-page site. They also have not dedicated a page to the geo. But what do we notice? If we take a closer look at the heading portion, we got movers in Boise. We've got Boise recommended again. And then if you go down the list, we scroll down,
Boise.
all of these, which are all very important, say the word with me, entities, right? The related keywords, all of this are all H2. So they're basically telling Google, hey, let me pull this up for dramatic purposes. They're basically stressing to Google, we are saying all the right stuff about what we do. I'm looking for discounts. I'm looking for the best price. Maybe I want something to guarantee. I'm looking for a moving company, professional moving services. If I typed in, I want a furniture moving or a safe mover, it's all there. Guess what? 208 doesn't have that. So it clearly shows you that having that strength will help you. And there's one other thing that I found out that's happening with the delicate touch. Really, these guys are just, two guys in a truck, to pardon the pun. They are fairly aggressive on the social media side. And 208 is much weaker. They have a lot of just generic posts where Delicate is getting the buzz and getting things going. I mean, look at this. I mean, I can see why 208 Moving would be pissed, because they're like, what the hell? These guys have a 5-page website and they're killing it, right?
Yeah.
So do not overlook the power of social media, kids. It will help you with your branding. And at the end of the day, that's why we stress branding, because you need people. You need someone who wants to move to search you and find you. And that just does not seem to be happening as much with 208.
All right. All right. Let's, I want to be mindful of time, and because we have some questions in the audience. So let's, great analysis there, guys. Any last comments you want to throw in there for this?
Yeah, I would say just be cautious with your site speed too, because it's loading. The site's pretty heavy in JavaScript too. It's obviously got quite a bit of video in there, so just be cautious of that. Yeah, it's indexed, it's ranking for Garden City, but Google's starting to get a little bit more strict on their resources and when they crawl and how they index your site. So you definitely want to stay, kind of under that 6 to 7 second mark. They're loading right at about 13.5 seconds on a mobile.
On a real quick note too, sorry, there was a question earlier and I just wanted to address it, which was about your domain, right?
Yeah, that's what
I had just talked about, it's really the, your brand and your keyword. And so I just happened to, let me zoom in here a second, just so this just comes out a little bit better. So one thing that I love to do is use the LTD that's different than .net and .com and .co. And this is exactly what this customer does. They do pest control services. So when the customer reached out to me, they had come up with this domain, the xpest.com. And I'm like, you know what, kids, that's not going to work, because if you are pest control, right, that is going to help you much better. So put your brand here, if you can at all, and then fill in the rest with your prime keyword, your prime umbrella of what you do.
Got it. That was actually the first question I was going to bring up. Here's another one for you, JP. How do you ask for reviews? Are there do's and don'ts on how you ask and what you ask?
So you want it to be as natural as possible, and to there's things that you want to be in the review. So typically what we do is we say, hey, first of all, let us know, where you're located. So maybe we get some of that city information in there. Let us know what service you got from us. So if you're a plumber, you're pest control, if you're a plumbing company, say, hey, you got drain cleaning, you had a problem with the faucet, whatever it is.
And if you can say something like my house in Meridian, like, I know that's very like, whoa, like you wouldn't really say the city, but if you can sneak it in, even better.
So try to say, where, if you're saying this to a customer, just let us know when you write the review. Let us know what city you called in from, where you live. Let us know the type of service that you had, and then let us know how the service was. We covered this on a couple episodes ago, where whoever the last touch is extremely important, because a customer might have called in and said, hey, I had an awful experience. I had to call like 5 times for the technician to finally come out here. Well, guess what? They've gone through talking to 3 to 5 different people. The technician comes out there, does a fantastic job, but still the customer is pissed off and still leaves a 2-star review because the overall experience was really shitty. So keep in mind, especially in home services, and we used to do this a lot when I had that locksmith company, the person who needs to ask for the review is the last person who speaks to the customer. So that's going to be the technician. So you say, hey, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer, I was a technician today. If you could just leave us a review, let me know how I did today, because I get graded on my performance. I get bonuses, and I have to go talk to my HR department once a year. And these reviews are definitely a driving force of how I get paid. So that's one way to do it. So teach your technicians out in the field, hey, if you're writing the review, if you wouldn't mind, just take a photo of me working. If you're happy, in the review, just say, hey, just mention where you live, what type of service you got today, and just mention the review how I did. That way in the review, now it says John the technician did a fantastic job. Here's him working. So that is how you get those positive experiences.
Great tip there. Yeah. Love that. All right, I didn't see any other questions there. There was one comment from Eric saying that he actually saw that the Hero CTA is discovered more on desktop, but it was getting an estimate now on mobile. I guess on one of the sites we are visiting.
Yeah, and what they've done on that, and I caught that too, is on desktop they want to send you to the about page, but it was kind of stupid because as soon as you scroll down, you just got more about the company. Like, no, I came here because I have to move my mom out of my house, or I bought a new house, I need to move. I think it is clever that it is a button that changes to mobile, but why not just a button that goes to a form, right? Like, I don't waste my time. I came here for an estimate. Just give me a button to the estimate form.
Yeah, I want the conversion whether you're on a desktop or a mobile.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, that concludes today's episode. Big shout outs out to the people in the chat: Persistent, Alicia, Trevor, Create, Eric. Thank you for participating, Jeff. All right. Oh, we get one more last question. Let's get that one in here. We got one more time. Any similar tips for reviews on brick-and-mortar biz?
Yeah, same thing. Restaurant owner example. You usually have QR codes on the tables. Just hey, scan the code. Let me know how I did as your server today. Same thing.
Also, if you happen to engage as people coming in and out and they see something or they're talking amongst themselves, get them to be like, oh yeah, would you like to have a picture with this? Or would you mind sharing? Would you tag us, right? You need to see the buzz and activity of your brand being connected out there, not only through the review, but in other social channels.
Yeah. How many times have you been to a restaurant and you asked the server, hey, would you mind taking a picture of us? It happens all the time. So that's a great opportunity right there.
Yeah. Love that.
Another thing we're going to do too on this particular edition, in the comments afterwards, I'm going to give you more information I found out on the 208 moving, and we can continue the conversation even after the live show.
Yep.
All right, guys. That concludes it. We need to.
Hey, GBP roast, GBP roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP roast, GBP roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO. JP, Lambo, and Dre, bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.